B&Bo Common Sense Radio. We're your hosts, Robert Slavinsky.
And this is Brian Keppel.
And this is our first podcast. So, what the fuck are we going to do here?
I don't know. Let's just do it.
All right. Well, this week in 1884, the first roller coaster in America opens at Coney Island in Brooklyn, New York, known as a Switchback Railway. It was the brainchild of Lamarcus Thompson, who was also known as the father of the gravity ride. The first roller coaster traveled approximately 6 miles per hour and cost a nickel to ride. The new entertainment was an instant success, and by the turn of the century, there were hundreds of roller coasters around the country. And when I saw this here, it kind of made me think a little bit of, some of the fun times I used to have going to our local amusement park, Kennywood. Do you have any good memories of any crazy roller coasters or anything like that?
Definitely going to go with the Steel Phantom. Before it was the Phantom's Revenge. Yeah. That giving me a stiff neck because I rode it probably 10 times in a row. That's my childhood memory right there. Coming back and holding my neck.
Crazy thing. I never rode the Steel Phantom. I've still never rode the Phantom's Revenge. I've actually never ridden a steel roller coaster. Just kind of fucking
never.
For some reason, I just
What kind of American are you? You're not a red-blooded American if you don't ride steel roller coasters.
I can't fucking help it. It kind of scares the shit out of me. I don't
know.
That's
the point. You're supposed to be scared shitless.
For some reason, I've only ever really enjoyed riding like the wooden roller coasters. I don't know if it's the height thing. And like the last 3 times that I've been to Kennywood, every time I'm there, the Phantom is stuck up on the hill, and it just sits there for like 45 minutes. And I'm like, screw that, I'm not doing that. So I think that's a big reason why. But, I don't know. Maybe one day I'll get around to riding a steel roller coaster. I know that I've had girlfriends in the past that are like, oh, you're going to ride it with me. But I haven't been to Kennywood now in almost 10 years. So.
Yeah, I haven't been to Kennywood in such a long time.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's hard to get people to go. I don't know why. They just don't like having fun, I guess.
Yeah, I think the big thing is, when we were kids, we went multiple times a year. That's just kind of what happened. I mean, you had your school field trip, and then most of our parents, their jobs had, their big summer picnic at Kennywood. So you would go 2, 3, 4 times a year. You figure for at least 10, 15 years, that's a ridiculous amount of times going. So I think a lot of people just kind of are like, you know what? Once we have kids, we'll take them. Until then, we don't want to go anymore.
Right. It's always a hassle, and if you're bringing your own food in, whatever, you got to worry about your cooler, and if you're not bringing your own food in, you're spending how much money,
Yeah. Which the cool thing about Kennywood, which you might not know, is it's one of 3 amusement parks in the country that still allows you to bring your own food into the park.
Oh, that's about to change, because you know what? Tommy G. Haughty is going to fuck it up for everybody.
Oh, probably. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, they're gonna do something, make you go through a full body scanner, and you know what? That salami, it looks suspicious. Can't bring in the salami. No liquids, no mustard for you and your salami sandwich.
Yeah.
Not gonna happen.
Yeah, you're probably right. It's probably gonna. You're right. I mean, it's probably gonna change. It's probably something stupid that happens. And it may not even be an amusement park.
No more good American fun for everyone, right?
No, exactly.
Can't even own a gun anymore. They want to treat you like a criminal. It's like frickin' Tom Cruise and Minority Report. They're gonna have the precogs out there hanging out in your little kiddie pool, telling you can't do something because they're afraid you're gonna do something bad.
Yeah, I can see something like that happening. I could. I don't know. I think anymore it's just going to be, there's just going to not be any fun. There's not going to be people sitting there watching you, telling you what to do. It's just going to be like, you can't do it. I think that's what's going to end up happening because just too many fucktards are just, hey, I'm going to go here and shoot these people for no goddamn reason. I'm going to go over here and blow up these people for no goddamn reason. Besides the fact that we're supposed to hate you. And I think what's going to happen is it's just, you can't do it anymore. It's just going to be that simple because I think the people who are running this country now are more interested in running the country with the country in fear than running the country with us as one and united, fight one force.
Yeah, if you're not afraid, what do you need them for, right?
Exactly.
Yeah, they want to be the heroes that you clamor and climb all over in time of need. You know, I don't want just like this the safe freedom. I want the dangerous freedom. You know, I want the motorcycle ride without a helmet. I want to drive down the street, without a seatbelt on. I want a bunch of salt in my hamburger. I want my big gulp, my 128 ounce soda. You know, now they're taxing soda in Philadelphia. When is it going to end? What are they going to do?
That started in New York, didn't it?
You know, well, yeah, they did that in New York. Now the disease is spreading over into Philadelphia. Yeah, like frickin' Al Gore, he tried literally putting a tax on you to breathe, a carbon tax, and then they're gonna say, "Oh, you emit what was it? Some crazy made up number about." An average of it was 4 metric tons or some shit like that of carbon dioxide a year or something so outrageous to make you pay a tax to line their pocket. It's like, what are they doing? Are they going out and planting trees and filtering air with that money? No. They're going to go buy a fucking yacht. They're going to sit there and eat all kinds of good food, and they're going to go and rape and pillage and do whatever, break whatever laws they want, because the courts don't hold any laws up to the high standard that they place us under. And oh yeah, we're going to make you pay to breathe now. You know, fuck you. That's what I say about that. Yeah. That's some common sense right there. What do you think?
Honestly, it really doesn't surprise me that anything like that would ever be thought of within our government, and it shouldn't surprise anybody else either. You know, and it's just gonna get worse if things keep going the way that it's going. You take a look at this election that's happening right now, and whether you're for Trump or for Hillary, it doesn't really matter.
They're all bad. They're all bad.
They're all bad. Exactly. I mean, you know, there's people that can sit there and make the fight that, you know, Trump is actually in Clinton's pocket, and everything that he has done is to help push Clinton to get to where she's at, or shall we say he's at, because I think he may be the one that's actually in the background pulling her strings. But
I don't know, man. The Clintons are pretty ruthless. I think they were pretty shocked when Trump really came out ahead. They thought, you know, like the whole establishment, they thought that Trump was just going to be like this laughing stock, this guy that, you know, he won't make it past, you know, what was it, Iowa, whatever, you know, and then they showed up and, wow, Trump has actually got a following, you know, and then they couldn't shut us up. They couldn't shut the people up, you know. Once you know, they opened up Pandora's box, it was the Trump Dora box, and, you know, he's out of the bag. They can't put him back. He's, you know, the toothpaste is out of the tube, right? Is how they say it. They can't put him back. So now they got to deal with him. And, you know, Bill Clinton was saying, I wish I would have made a phone call to him before he ran, before he had Secret Service protection so I could threaten the shit out of him. You know, we'll threaten his children. We'll bury him in a swamp down in Chattanooga, Florida, or whatever the fuck the Clintons do with people's bodies. Yeah, and they got bodies stacked. But, you know, that's the Clinton war machine right there. They're always with some kind of scandal. Something's going on. They're always breaking the law. They're always getting away with it because they can get to the prosecutors, the witnesses, threaten them, shut them down. The media's bought and paid for. You just see it with the articles. Like, there's so much stuff to bury the Clintons on, and they don't even want to touch it. You got to go to some weird website with some, you know, a bunch of conspiracy theory bullshit about fucking Bigfoot and aliens to get some truth about frickin' Hillary Clinton. It's horrible. Where's our media at? Why aren't they doing their job? Why aren't they telling us about the Clinton Foundation and how they ripped off all these countries, how they were trading favors for money and weapon sales and all the bullshit that they did during the Arab Spring through the State Department under the name of the American people. You know, that's us on the hook, not the Clintons. It's us as Americans. They're doing it in our name. And the whole world is saying, those fucking Americans, they're a problem. They're ruining it for everybody. And it's really not that way. We're just some regular people that just want to go to work, raise our families, sit down, enjoy a nice dinner with our family, and that's it. That's all we want. But no. You got to have these people out there with all of their plans and schemes to do this and that with world domination. It's just, you know what? Enough already. We just want to live our lives in peace. That's what I think. And I think that's what people see in Trump. He's just a regular guy who just got lucky. You know, he was in the right place, right time. Made a lot of money.
I mean, you know where I stand. I am a Trump supporter now. I mean, I'm going to go out there and say it. But I wouldn't say
I wasn't always a Trump supporter. I was actually a Bernie supporter.
No, yeah, I wasn't a Trump supporter. I actually was first on Rand Paul's side there. But that's beside the point. Right now, I can't sit here and agree with the fact that he was lucky. I really don't think he was. I think he played the system how he had to play it. He knew what he was doing the entire time. In this time, people were so sick of these politicians, like you were saying, and he's the one that was not like everyone else. And I think that's why the following. It wasn't luck. He just knew that it was the right time to put on his show. I mean,
I'm just talking about his millions. Lucky like that way, like the wealth.
Yeah, but I mean, he's a performer.
Yeah, he born into it. I mean, anybody that's rich that's born into it, they're lucky. When you think about it, I mean, the roll of the dice.
Yeah.
When you come into this world, you don't know what you're gonna get, right?
Yeah.
That's all I meant by that.
Okay.
Go ahead. You were going. You were saying.
I mean, I just think that he's a performer. He knows what he's doing. He knows exactly what to do.
Definitely got that show business aspect to him.
And he knows how to get an audience. I mean, there's a reason why he's on stage with beautiful women. There's a reason why he's calling out the other candidates, on stage and making fun of them. That's because that's what America has come to. They're sick of, and they make fun of these politicians all the time. It's just in the past it's been, well, this is who we got, so I guess we got to vote for the best of the worst.
Yeah.
But now it's kind of like, oh look, there's somebody who is acting like I act at home, so I'm going to go with him. And I think that's what really pushed Trump to getting him to where he's at now. So, I mean, that's kind of where I stand on that subject there.
Plus, what they're doing with this globalization, the global economy and how they took the entire American industrial base and basically exported it to all these other countries where they can exploit these workers, where they don't have basic protections. Like in China, they don't even have to wear welding glasses. They just get these people up there, let them weld, they damage their eyes, and then they send them right back on the street. And they paid them very little money, and then you just get the next guy. Why don't, all these liberals, instead of turning all of their anger and hate inwards towards inside the United States, they focus outside of the United States and take the battle there for all the people that don't have a voice. Mm-hmm. Like we're supposed to be the torchbearer, the light in the world, right? Why don't we act like it? Why don't we stop trying to snuff out the light of liberty, and why don't we spread it, right? Why don't we turn the whole world on fire, right? And go into these places and free these people from their economic shackles. Why don't we do that? Mm-hmm. That's what I think Americans should be doing. And not this phony world nation building. Yeah, we're for democracy. Let's go blow them up and bomb them, and then we install dictators. Why don't we really support freedom? What are we doing here? Like if we're gonna go around the world and do this, why don't we spread some liberty instead of this Fox FAUX democracy, right? That's what I think.
Yeah, I mean, I can't say that I don't agree, but I think anymore it's not a real possibility to do that. I mean, well, it may be a possibility, but I don't think anybody wants to do that because of the ridiculous, sanctions set by, the United Nations and stuff like that. I mean, the hoops that you have to jump through to be able to help a country is ridiculous anymore. I mean, look at how long it took us.
They don't have to remain a country all by themselves. They could always just become another state in the Union.
They could.
Have statehood and have basic civil liberties, Constitution. Why, they can be Americans. Why not join the United States? Imagine all those countries, all those people out there that want their freedom. And here it is. We have it here in a nice little package, and we can offer it to them.
But again, some people don't see us as having freedom. I mean, you take a look. I mean, while we have many freedoms, we do.
Well, the people that do see us that way. Yeah, I understand not everybody likes America in the world.
Yeah.
But that's because of our foreign policy. We go thrash and trash the world and just leave it there. Why don't we stay put? Why don't we welcome them into the fold here?
Yeah.
You want to call it an empire, the American empire? Whatever. I don't really think we have a fucking emperor. You know what I mean? We got a president. We got a faux king that we get rid of every 4 years, or we can get rid of. Although it seems to be the norm that they have an 8-year run, which I don't think is right. You don't have to do it, but it's always like the incumbent is very hard to unroot. Yeah. They have their machinery put in place, and then the new guy on the ground, you just got to fight through all of that. But I don't know. Maybe that's just a process. Maybe I'm just going a little too far with that. But yeah. I think we should extend a welcoming hand into the Union. Why not? Manifest destiny, right?
Yeah, absolutely. But then you have some trouble into what we're running into right now with the immigration, and stuff like that. You're going to be letting people into the country or be a part of this country that could possibly have, those sleeper cells, those kind of people that there's terrorists. I'm just going to say there's terrorists out there that don't want to have any part to do with America or want every part to do with destroying America. And it doesn't matter, what country it is, they'll find a way to get in there and to infiltrate us. And I think that's a big problem.
I don't think we should let terrorists change the way we live and move forward into the future. I think say fuck those terrorists. We're going to keep going to our sporting events. We're going to keep going to the mall.
Oh, don't get me wrong. I agree with you on that.
Keep going to the nightclubs and doing what we do, right? As Americans, free Americans.
I completely agree with that.
Why should we change our way of life to appease them? That's them winning, making us fearful, right? That's terrorism, right?
No, absolutely. And I agree with everything you say. We need to continue living our lives. We can't sit in fear and wonder, if I go to this sporting event, is something going to happen? If I go to a movie, is something going to happen? You never know, but you can't not do it because then they've, ultimately won. But I think the big concern is not so much that happening, but allowing them in. We need to cut off the accessibility or access they have to to us and to doing that. Again, it's not our job. That should be the job of our government, of our military, those who are supposed to be protecting us. It should be their job. But you see,
it is their job. You know what I mean? But I get what you're saying. Yeah, it is their job, but I get what you're saying. Like, we do place trust in our government officials, and they let us down. They let us down miserably.
Exactly.
I think we as a nation, we need to redefine ourselves. We need to get rid of these politicians. We have good ones, no doubt. There's people there with passion, but there's other ones that have been in there for way too long. They're all washed up. They're all bought and paid for.
Oh, absolutely.
Everybody knows it. I don't even need citations. I don't need sources, right? Everybody knows this. It's common sense, right?
Yeah.
How about that?
I mean, it is. It's absolutely known. But who's going to stop it from happening? I mean, anybody who goes in there and tries to say, I want to instill term limits for all senators and congressmen, they're going to be banished immediately.
Well, in the beginning, wasn't there just spoken word, right? Me and you, we're talking about it right here, and then as we talk about it, more people will start talking about it, and as we're talking about it, even more people will talk about it.
No, absolutely,
it will
happen.
That's how you create change in the world.
And I tell you what, if somebody like, say, Donald Trump or Bernie Sanders came out and said, if one of them came out and said, hey, one of the things I'm going to do when I'm in office is I'm going to put term limits on, the Congress and the senators and the congressmen, everything like that, they win right there. But that is something that they could do, but they're not doing it. Why? Everybody, I don't care if you're if you're left, if you're right, if you're down the middle, if you're the far right Tea Party, I don't care what you are. If you sit there and you hear somebody say that I'm going to give them term limits finally, you're going to be in their corner.
Congress isn't going to vote themselves out of office. It's just not going to happen.
Exactly.
You're not going to see, it's like how they give themselves pay raises.
Exactly. I mean, it's never going to happen. It's not. We're never going to see a time where there's term limits for our politicians, with the exception of the president. It's just not going to happen. It's ridiculous, but it's the truth.
We could come up with something here. We have the internet. That's the people's voice. Have a list of approved legislators. Vote them in all at once. Massive sea change. Get them in there and make it happen, right? That's just the way I think of how we do it. How could you orchestrate something? I mean, have to get everybody on board. Have to get like a grassroots movement.
Unless you get a president that just throws an executive order out. I mean, that's going to be the biggest thing. But are they even able to do that? That's something I would have to look into. I'm not even sure that's something that they could do.
Yeah, I don't know. There's so much power, wealth, and influence in the world that you're gonna have to go through a lot of trouble to get it done. But I don't think we should let that stand in our way. As a people, as a nation, as one nation. Forget all this black, white, yellow, brown, whatever, purple skin. Put that shit aside. Same with the sexuality stuff. Just drop it. People are going to be people. They're going to do their thing. How about we just come together as human beings and do what's right? And I'm not trying to say, some Bernie Sanders magical socialism thing here. Something that we can all take a hold of. True democracy. We have the republic, right? Mm-hmm. And what we really want as a people is a democracy. And how do we do that? How do we all have our voice heard? And, it's good to have the republic. It's good to have an organized government. And it isn't just some crazy shamble, slapped together, whatever. Just a pile of garbage, basically. You know how it is. You get a bunch of people together. They can't make their minds up, and eventually nothing happens, right? because they're all arguing and bitching about whatever it is that they want. So I propose we have the technology. Why make some kind of internet app? You know, we have this the thumbprint technology on our phones now. We all everybody has a cell phone. Frickin' Obama's giving cell phones out for free. So what the hell? You have your government approved cell phone, and it would just be a cell phone that could support the app, right, with the thumbprint technology, and through the Republic, for which it stands, one nation under God. So you have a Republic, right, and you have all your legislators, and they're passing bills, but it's not up to them to vote on the bill, right? It would be the people together as a democracy, and they would, through their cell phones, they would vote yes or no, or whatever the other vote is, just a present. You don't have to say yes or no. You're just just saying that you were there or whatever. But
I guess
probably sound like some uneducated ass. It's never
take a
American.
look.
I think we could do this.
But if you think about it, take a look at 2014. For the population, for the voting age population, only 36.3% people actually went out and voted in 2014. That's terrible. That number will probably go up now. But you're asking
those. You have a cell phone. You would have a cell phone in your hand. There would be no reason not to vote. Right?
I guess. I don't know. You're asking the same people that aren't responsible enough to go out and vote to be responsible enough to actually read up on what is being talked about and possibly being passed. I don't know. I that's hard for me to accept. I think that's a big reason why we vote in politicians and stuff like that, because they're supposed to be,
everybody's asleep at the switch. That's why they got away with doing what the fuck they're doing. It's there, right there, in their hand. You send out, a notification. Bang, your phone buzzes. Mm-hmm. A red icon pops up. Your vote is needed. Yes or no?
Okay, imagine this. Imagine if the Affordable Care Act was voted on like that. Okay, how many pages was that thing? Nobody, not even the politicians, were able to read through the entire thing. And you expect, 36+% of America to actually invest time in looking into it. I'm going to admit, most of what I got and most of the information I got on the Affordable Care Act was from the news, from what I watched on mainstream media. Yeah, I did some, investigating myself on the internet, but again, how trustworthy is that? So
that's a good point. That's a good point.
These people aren't going to do the research. They're not going to take a look and see what is possibly being passed and the laws that could be made. It's not so. That's why we have to trust and hope that we're voting in the right politicians to go in there and speak for us. They're supposed to.
They both have their upsides and their downsides. Both cases here.
Yeah. Exactly.
I would like, as an informed voter, to have control over what is being voted for. I don't know. That's how I feel about it. Maybe in order to get your right to vote in this straight up democracy style vote, you have to, I don't know, take some kind of course or something. Otherwise, you just get to vote in the general vote. I don't know. The whole thing, you got to take classes, this and that. It's kind of anti-American to begin with. You don't have to graduate from high school to vote. You don't have to have a driver's license even. You don't even have to drive to vote, right? You don't even have to have an ID.
Yeah, I guess in most states you still don't need an ID. I believe in Pennsylvania you do. I think Pennsylvania you do now.
Well, now they have it like that.
Yeah, but I don't think every state does.
Your first time voting, you have to show an ID.
Yeah, or your first time voting in a new area. So, like this past election, this past, primary, I had to, I had to register. 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 I had to re show my ID, where I'm at now, because before I voted up right outside Pittsburgh. Now I'm outside of Pittsburgh, and I had to show ID. But I was kind of caught off guard. Like, I didn't think they were going to ask for my ID, and they're like, hey, we need to see your ID. And then it really scared me whenever my signature drastically changed from whenever I first got the vote to now. And they're like, no, you have to sign here. I'm like, my signature's pretty different. And they're like, that's okay. So even then, I mean, it's not a foolproof
plan. I
do
remember something like that happening with me first time voting.
Yeah, it's not a foolproof plan.
It's so long ago, though.
So
it's like 2004, I want to say.
2004 would have been, that would have been our first presidential election.
Right.
So, I mean, with that, I mean, there's a lot of other stuff going on in the world also besides all this political stuff and.
No, you gotta talk politics. I mean,
absolutely.
And this is a huge political season.
Oh, absolutely, and this talk is going to go on for months. I mean, the election's in November, and then even after that, I'm sure we'll still continue talking about it because it'll be who was right, who's wrong, what could have been, what could not have been, that kind of stuff. So, I mean, even with that, it's going to continue for a while for sure. But, I mean, there's some other interesting things going on in the world besides this political stuff, believe it or not.
Like the mother fighting off a mountain lion that attacked her 5-year-old son. How about that? Did you see that in the headlines?
I did not see that in the headlines.
Could you imagine that? You're out, for a nice hike out in nature, whatever, you're just having a walk. And then out of the bushes comes this huge frickin' cat, and it tries taking your son away. And what do? It's got frickin', I don't know how long those claws are, and them big old fangs. But, what do? You go, you take your eyes off that cat, and it drags your kid off into the bushes. What are you going to do? He's like, I don't know, what did the mother do? Let's find out. I'm going to read the article here.
Go for it.
So, apparently this happened in Denver. Your mother was out, and apparently he was playing with his older brother outside their home, and she heard the screams of her children, races out, and finds a cougar on top of her son. So, I guess she wrestled this cat off of her son here. This is what this report's saying. And the boy had injuries to his face, head and neck, but it doesn't sound like he was too bad off. He's in stable condition, or they're using the term fair condition. But could you imagine that? Your son be attacked by a wild animal like that?
It's insane, and people, it brings me to what's gone on the past few weeks even. People sit there and say that, parents with their kids at the zoo, or even at the thing that happened at Disney World. That's
with the alligator, right?
But anything can happen. It can happen anywhere. They're in their front yard. They're in what most people believe is one of the safest places in the world while they're growing up as a child is your home. Right. And as a parent, I mean, I know I let my kids play outside, I mean, I'm usually out there with them unless I have to run in for a quick second for something, but I'll let them play outside. So it's because I trust the area, Yeah,
but you're only human,
Exactly, and anything can happen, and it's unfortunate. In this case, people aren't going to be sitting there blaming the parents like they did with the zoo events, or
your telephone rings, you run in to answer it real quick. You got a cordless phone, you go in, pick up the phone, and bang, you come out, and there's a dog attacking your kid.
No, exactly,
right?
Exactly.
And then the public wants to go and frickin' nail you to a cross. It's like, what? Why don't we cool it down here and look at it as a reality, and not this outrage morals that we're living with nowadays. Everybody's outraged. Everybody got the moral answer. This and that. People are going to be people. We're all just regular human beings, shit happens, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah, and when you have young children, anything can happen. Hey, I remember when I was little, and I would just run off. Okay, I'm a little kid. What the hell? I'm new to the world, trying to figure everything out, and I just go booking down the street. My parents turn around for 1 second, and I'm 300 feet down the damn road before they even knew it. I didn't make a sound. I didn't say, "Hey, mom, dad, I'm going to go run down the street." You just do it. And you just catch your parents off guard.
I can't tell you how many times my mom would think I'd be outside playing. I'd run down the street to your house to knock on your door to see what you were doing. Mm-hmm. My mom start yelling for me, and I would have to find a way to sneak back so my mom didn't know I was down there.
You would always sneak along that fence, and then you would go through the gate, and you go in through the back door, the back sliding door. That.
Or even riding bikes, your parents will tell you to, your parents always set limits for you, but you always push them, so anything can ever happen.
Over on that street on your bike. I'm going 2 streets over. Look at me, roof, big dog on my bike. I can't fuck with me on my bike, right? That's how you are when you're a little kid,
Yeah, the kids push limits. These situations that happen, at least in the case of, this mountain lion or the alligator, wasn't so much the child pushing limits, but, it's the fact that children are going to be children. Things are going to happen. You never know what's going to happen. And,
you're out of state. You're down in Disney World. You're, Orlando. You're new to there. You don't know about crocodiles and shit.
Yeah.
You're from frickin' Montana or whatever. And, there's a frickin' alligator. You don't know about alligators. You know that they're there, but you don't know how infested the water is. And then, then you want to go and blame, Disney World, they should have the alligator hunters out there trying to kill alligators. Like, who the fuck would do that?
Yeah.
Who does that?
Exactly.
It's just like, it's a water feature. An alligator across the road slid into it and was hiding out. What do you want? The fuck do you want? And then everybody's so crazy. Like, some common sense here. It's a freaking wild animal. It's gonna roam freely.
Yeah, absolutely. But how about some of the news that came up also on the tech side of things with this Lenovo creating a bendable phone that you can essentially wear on your wrist like a watch. It's only in the development stages, but they have a couple pictures on PCMag.com. It's pretty cool. The fact that they're finding a way that can make it a little more portable, so it's not just sitting in your pocket. You won't have to have the smartwatch and the smartphone. It's basically all in one, what I think is kind of neat. The way technology is moving right now, and at the speed that it's moving, is ridiculous.
I think if they use that like a VR headset, and you could have like a keyboard on your arm, how cool that would be.
Jesus. I don't know.
I don't know. I like that 80s tech, like you're growing up in like the 80s, 90s, and there was always like that keyboard right on your arm, and you have like the cool VR headset. I don't know. That's the way I look at technology. Maybe I'm just old school. I don't know.
What was it? Was it Lobot? Lobot from Star Wars, Lando Calrissian's right-hand man. He was the bald guy with the thing on his ears. He had a little computer thing on his wrist, didn't he? Pretty sure he did.
Yeah. He had all kinds of stuff. He had like some weird... In the Star Wars universe, they have like it's like this some kind of chip that they go into the brain and like they cut out like the personality parts of the brain, and they insert like this computer thing. I forget what it's. I don't know all the specifics, but that's basically what that dude had going on there.
Yeah, but back on what you were saying, you were talking about VR and everything like that. Honestly, I don't see what the big thing is about VR. Don't get me wrong, it's interesting, but I do not see that that's where the future is going, whether it be with gaming or anything when it comes to electronics. I can't see that being the future. I just can't. I think it's too constrictive. You can't do that much with VR. You just can't.
I think maybe augmented reality. I think it'll be like like laser tag. I see that being the big thing, and then you'll be able to go into like a war zone. It'll look really realistic, and you'll have like a rifle, and it'll have the feedback. Maybe like some kind of like compressed air to give that punch like a gun has.
But
And you
now
just
you're
go into
talking
a war
about
zone.
but now you're talking about needing like a dedicated room in your house to simply do that. I mean, you're not going to be able to
You could
sit.
do it in your home was where the VR will work.
I see. I disagree.
But
I think it's not the
the AR, the augmented reality, I think that'll be great for advertisers. I think that is what it'll be. You might not have the VR, but you could have like your cell phone, and you could go up and down the aisle, and with your camera will pick up, whatever little tags or something, and it'll have like your coupon or whatever. You know what I mean? Not like they can't have that already in regular print, but the producer, the manufacturer, will be able to have complete control over their product that way and brand it and let you see it. It'll control shelf space, things like that. Marketing, big marketing ploy there. And if you want to walk around looking like a goofball with Google glasses on, sure, go about it.
Yeah. Well, for instance, Google Glasses. That was what, 3 years ago they were released, and nobody has them. But a single person.
They were $1,500. Who's going to go out and buy a $1,500 thing, and it doesn't have any uses?
Well, exactly. I mean, I think sometimes the tech just is too far advanced for where we're at this point, and I think VR is there right now. I think people are so excited about VR, whether it's Oculus Rift for the PC and PS4, and Oculus, or it's not the PS4 it's coming out for, but the Xbox.
And not only that, I think people are going to have problems with their eyes.
Well, people have already been having motion sickness from the things, and I'm sorry,
yeah.
it's not the right way to go right now in technology. I think that's going to actually stump where they should be going. And I mean, not to get solely on video games here, but I think with E3 just happening this past week and a lot of things being announced, the one thing that I'm really disappointed in is no company has even hinted that. I won't say they didn't hint. I think there was a little bit of it in this past E3, but there's really been no company that has said, look, we want to take video gaming in this direction. They're all on this VR hype train.
Yeah, it's pretty much a gimmick. It's true. We've just been waiting for it for all our lives for this VR thing. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, back from the early '90s with Virtual Boy. I mean, everybody was like, "Whoa, Virtual Boy!"
Man, people made people's eyes bleed. I remember playing that thing in Hills.
I don't actually. I remember them having it at Hills, but I don't remember playing it.
Yeah, I remember playing Star Fox, and it was just like a red V going around, and you'd run into like there were walls there, but it was just like a line, and it didn't have like any texture or anything. Mm-hmm. And then so you were like flying through space, and then you would just explode. What happened? Because there wasn't anything there to really tell you if there was a wall, so you had to like figure it out. Like,
honestly, I think the biggest thing for video games right now, and I think something that they really need to focus on is mobility. I'm somebody who loves my console. I have an Xbox One, absolutely love it. If I could, I would take my games with me and play them wherever I go. But the console's too bulky. It's a bulky system. It's ridiculously big. It's heavy. I'm not going to lug that thing around to go over to my friend's house and play or wherever I'm going. And I think they need to start focusing on, okay, how can we get this game, let's just take Halo, for instance. How can we take Halo and let the consumer, at any possible moment that they want, to be able to play this game? So whether they're at work, on their break for their 15, 30-minute break, whether
I ain't coming back from break time. I'm gonna get fired.
Whether they're on a plane going to a business meeting in China, wherever they're at, they should be able to play this game.
Better have some serious battery power on a flight to China.
All right, whatever. But
I hear you.
The idea is that simply like how can you make it more mobile? And Xbox announced this E3, Xbox Play Anywhere, which is a cool concept where now they can basically you buy certain games for your Xbox, you can play them on your PC. Okay, that's a step in the right direction. A few years back, Nintendo released the Wii U. The Wii U had the gamepad. Now, integrate the...
I don't know anybody that has a Wii U.
Integrate the gamepad into the bigger consoles now, because the gamepad's brilliant. I mean, I love the fact that my kids are here, they're playing their Wii, and I'm like, hey, the hockey game's on. Well, I want to play Mario still. Well, go sit on the couch and play Mario on your gamepad. I'm going to watch the hockey game on my TV.
So you actually own one of those things?
Yeah, absolutely.
So are they any good?
They're not bad. I mean, at this point, I wouldn't suggest getting it because Nintendo's been rumored to be making a new console.
Oh, man, there goes our Nintendo sponsorship. Don't buy their stuff. Oh, man. Shit.
Oh, damn it. No, I like the console. It's got some benefits, although I think it has the worst Mario Kart game for it and the worst Mario Party.
I heard they took out going out of bounds.
On what?
On the Mario Kart.
No, I mean, you still go out of bounds. I don't know, it didn't seem like a challenge. It's the first Mario Kart that I played.
Well, it's for kids, right?
Didn't seem challenging. Well, yeah, but, I mean, even the last one that I played...
Well, Toys R Us kids, man. We'll never grow up.
was Double Dash for...
I don't even think kids nowadays even would get that reference.
Probably not. No,
people even know what Toys R Us is? Are there still Toys R Us out there?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah,
right.
I'm taking my kids there. But it's a sad excuse of a toy store. It's all overpriced. It's ridiculous.
It always was.
Yeah. Remember, man, this is going way back, and most of our listeners are probably going to know what the hell we're talking about. But remember the store that was called Children's Palace?
Dude, Children's Palace with the... Yeah.
Dude,
like a freaking castle?
Yeah, it looked like a castle. Oh, man, that's where I would buy all my Ninja Turtle toys. It was awesome.
Dude, that place rocked, man. That's when we got our first NES out there, and then, like, it was, like, every, like, I don't know, it had warranty on it, right? Yeah, so, and by the time the warranty would run up, we would just go out and get a brand new one. Mm-hmm. You know, we would just exchange it. Or, you know, they would have, like, that different game. Say it would be, like, it was, like, Mario Brothers. That would come, you know, it was, like, the staple game, and then there was, like, another one, I think there was. Or it might have just been the different color light gun, because there was a gray and there was like an orange one, and say we'd want the gray gun, we go exchange it, or we want the orange gun, we go exchange it, right? Mm-hmm. That's what I remember, and I remember I'd always wander off and get lost in the store, and my parents would yell at me because I wasn't supposed to walk off. But you know, you're a little kid and there's all this fucking toys everywhere. You mean make me pay attention? You know what I mean? Like, I don't want to pay attention. I want to look at toys, you know? That's what kids do.
Yeah. Oh, I tell you what, I mean, I have that trouble with my kids now. I go to Walmart, basically walk into the store, and all my kids are toys. Can we go look at toys? Can we go look at toys?
Oh, yeah, you always got to go to the toy section.
You have to go there, or it's just going to be a miserable trip. You know, it doesn't matter if you're going and buying Hot Pockets or if you're going and buying school clothes.
When we were growing up,
you have to go look at those toys.
It was such a world that, you know, you could go off to the toy section and spend your time in the toy section while your mom's out shopping. But now, you know, some weird creepo will come up and try taking your damn kid, and you can't even do that now. Like, what the fuck?
Oh, I know. Oh, absolutely. I remember being a kid. I mean, I can't, maybe 8, 9 years old. I wasn't that young. But I remember, you know, being at Hills, and my mom knew.
I remember when the Ninja Turtles first came out with their action figures, and it was nothing but racks of April O'Neil. And it was just like, what is this? Nobody wants an April O'Neil action figure, right? And now an April O'Neil action figure is like the most expensive, most valuable action figure there is for, you know, that, whatever.
That old run back from the 90s?
Yeah, yep.
Yeah, it's crazy.
That's what I was looking for, that run. Yeah, that's the lingo.
That's lingo. So, what have you been into lately? Have you been doing anything? You know,
Me? No, just I don't really got much going on here personally. Just doing the admin thing with CS. Trying to get a little career going. Trying to catch my own fish, if you will.
Yeah.
Using my artistic talents. Trying to get started up here. Trying to lay some ink down. We'll see how that goes, right?
Yeah. I mean,
How about yourself? Which you got going on the home front?
On my side?
Yeah.
Not too much. I mean, pretty much just working and just hanging out with the kids and stuff like that.
The grind, man.
Yeah, it's the grind. But I mean, lately, this is the time of year. All the season finales of all those big TV shows have come and gone. So,
speaking of work, I feel like I'm on like a blacklist or something.
why do you say that?
I'm like unhireable. I don't know. I don't know what it is. Maybe he wants to hire me. I don't know. So that's basically what's driving me to come up and focus on my own profession. Be a freaking Lancelot here. Going out, fuck the kingdom, go carve my own path. That's what I got to do.
Do what makes you happy.
Yeah, there's no industry, and Pittsburgh is dead. If you don't go out, like 4 years at the minimum, of any kind of degree, you're shit out of luck.
I don't know.
A high school diploma doesn't mean shit anymore.
But degrees really don't either anymore. I mean,
That's true.
They want experience. Nobody wants the degree. They want the experience.
Yeah, it's like, you got to be experienced. Well, how do I get experienced? Oh, well, you got to get hired. How do I get hired? You got to have experience to get hired. It's like, what? What the fuck is that even? What? How does that work? Yeah, it's like Catch-22,
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, that's life anymore. I mean, if you're lucky enough to find a job that you like, that you can stay in, that's great. Or if you're lucky enough to start your own business, I mean, that's something that I've always wanted to do myself. Don't know if I'll ever get a chance to do it, but I'd like to. Who knows? But if you can find something that you like doing, you just want to stick with it. Do everything you can to make money off of something you love doing. That's it's a big thing right there. If you love doing something, find a way to make money doing it.
Right.
But, going back to what we originally were talking, or how you threw it over to me, what I've been doing, I've really just been doing nothing. I mean, working, that kind of thing. Now that all the big season finales of all the big shows have come and gone now, it's kind of playing catch up with some of the shows that I didn't get a chance to watch.
What's your favorite show?
Favorite show on TV right now is probably, and this is the nerdy side coming out of me, but The Flash. It's one of the best written shows, I think, on television right now, regardless that it's a superhero.
What channel is that on?
It's on the CW.
CW.
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever caught... Oh, you know what I did? I did catch the one episode where The Flash, if he slowed down, somebody would die. Like there was somebody in a mine or something like that, and then
yeah, I don't know what you're talking about there. I'm
huh?
sorry. I don't know which one you're talking about there.
I don't know what episode. I just only caught one episode of the show.
Yeah, I mean, there's been 2 seasons, so there's like 45, 46 episodes that they made.
It's a long season there.
Yeah, each season's about 20, 22, 23 episodes long, so... but it's well worth it. If you get a chance, if you have Netflix, I think it's on Netflix. It may not be anymore. I don't know. But definitely check it out if you get a chance to, because it's definitely a great show. But because of that, because I've been getting so involved with enjoying that, The Flash, of course, we had the big movie that was more of a flop back in March for Batman v Superman. Something I've actually started getting into now is the new DC Universe Rebirth comic.
I've seen and read so much bad press about that movie.
Yeah, I mean,
I've never actually got to watch it.
Yeah,
I think I was deterred. I mean, at first it was just like, whatever.
I tell you what, I mean, I'm a huge comic book fan. I won't say comic book fan because that's a kind of a not the right way to put it, because I'm a fan of the stories. I grew up with watching, the Batman the Animated Series. I grew up, watching Superman, Justice League, all that kind of stuff. I'm a big DC fan. Again, when it comes to the comic book side of it, never been big into comic books. But I was really, really looking forward to Batman v Superman.
I think it was more like of a matter of not having the money as a kid to buy those.
Yeah.
We didn't grow up in middle class families. Weren't really even well off. I wouldn't even say we're even comfortably well off, or whatever, however you want to put it. We were just, our parents struggled to make ends meet, and they didn't have extra money for us to go buy comic books. So all you comic book fans out there that had a bunch of comic books and all your fucking toys and shit, you go and you hug your parents and you say, "Thank you, God damn it, for giving me a good childhood." I hear them nerds out there, not in a bad way, but they're always bragging about all this and that, how they had all this shit when they were little. We were the kids, that took wood and with a jigsaw we made our own toy guns. We'd use markers and color them in black, and we'd run around and play guns. We didn't have all that shit. We might have had some video games, but it mostly was us making the most of it. That's how we grew up.
Pretty much. I mean, that's how it was. But nice little segue into what I was saying that I'm getting into now. But the DC Comics did recently, actually back in May, did kind of a restructuring of their comic books, and they called it DC Universe Rebirth, where they kind of ended their New 52 run completely, it seems, and started a new run, but didn't really, because they're going back and using the run that they were using prior to the New 52. So I figured, what is a better time now than to finally get into comic books? So the past few weeks I've been online, and well, there's no comic book stores near me because, as some people would say, I live in the boonies. So
out in the sticks.
Yeah, out in the sticks. So I'm pretty much screwed and
drinking moonshine in the bushes.
So I have to order them online.
Down Silver Shack.
My mom says if you can see a cow from your yard, you're in the sticks. So
that's the best.
But I ended up starting to collect comic books now. Especially because the first issue, the DC Universe Rebirth, that actual comic, was released at the end of May, and the first printing of it went for $2.99 then, and you go to try and find it online now, you'll be lucky to find it around $8 to $10. So I figure, one...
Well, if you're a fan, it really won't be that big of a deal.
No, but the way I look at it, one, it's kind of nice that I'm getting into it. I'm a fan of the comic book characters. But two, it's almost like an investment. I mean, there's some comic books that just, the price goes up drastically over time. So who knows? It's an investment.
Maybe just buy all of them and burn every single one except for like 5. And see how they like that. You'd be the most popular guy in the interwebdom.
Oh, absolutely, I would be. Don't you know?
I wonder how expensive that would be if you did that one.
Probably more than
I could at the original price.
Yeah.
How many did they press?
I couldn't tell you, man. I have no idea.
Probably a couple million.
Yeah, maybe. I honestly couldn't tell. That even the first issue has already jumped up to being $10 from $99. I mean, that's a big jump within a month. So, I mean, it may go back down. It may go back up. You never know.
Right.
So, but that's kind of the way I'm looking at it. It's something I enjoy. I'm looking forward every week now to reading comics, and it's an investment. We'll see. Maybe in 15, 20 years, I'll have some, a nice collection where I can maybe sell the collection for a decent amount of money, or it's something I could pass on to my kids. Who knows?
Probably going to pass on to your kids.
That's probably
even in the future, comic books market's so saturated anymore.
Yeah,
they really don't. It's not like those original pressings from like whatever year, way back when, with like the Super Friends or whatever, and frickin' Superman didn't even show up yet or whatever.
Well.
I'm not a comic book head, guys.
We won't get into the technicalities of that kind of stuff.
I know I got the titles wrong and shit, but goddamn, give me a break. I like comic books. Come on, I like them too, but I just don't go out and buy them. All right.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
Do we got what email we giving out to our listeners here for feedback and suggestions and topics and whatever you just wanna send us a shout out or tell us how bad our show is.
That would be
email giving them.
bandbocsradio@gmail.com. So that's bandbocsradio@gmail.com. You can hit us up there if you have any questions. Want to just get in on it? And...
Hey, no dick pics. Right? But the ladies out there, that's right. All them ladies out there, you can send us whatever you want.
Hey, we gotta be fair. If we're gonna let the ladies send them. But yeah, so bandbobcsradio@gmail.com. You can hit me up on Twitter at rslavinsky. That's my Twitter handle.
And my Twitter is at Brian_Keppel, Kepple.
Yeah, so
that's right? Isn't that what my Twitter handle was?
Sure.
I don't know. I'm not technical.
If not, go change it right now and make that what it is.
Yeah, it's at Brian_Keppel, Kepple.
And if you're listening to this and you're not a member of the Common Sense group on Facebook, definitely send us an email with your name, and we'll try and get you in there. Right now, we have it.
We're not. We like a small little group. I don't know. Never know how many listeners we're going to get. Maybe you'll get lucky. Maybe you'll be a guest member. Maybe we'll have that. Cycle guests in and out of the discussion group.
Yeah, absolutely. So, again, from us here at Common Sense Radio, I'm Robert Slavinsky.
And I am Brian Keppel.
And we'll talk to you later.
See you guys. Peace out.